Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't updated in a couple of days, but we will. I think I might get two videos up today, so that should make up for not putting one out yesterday. But um, today we're gonna talk about Joker, and now I've went over before the whole deal with the marketing and stuff involving involving Todd Phillips' statements about how the movie is basically a big middle finger to woke culture because he believes it's destroying comedy, which in a lot of cases it is. And there was a very negative media backlash from that. We saw a negative backlash from Rotten Tomatoes. Now, this comment was made on the heels of Joker getting a standing ovation at, I believe it was the Toronto International Film Festival, and everybody seemed to love it. And now that he made these comments, there's been some backlash. Now, one of the most recent things that was brought up again by the media was that a song that is used in the film for a very brief amount of time is a song from a convicted pedophile named Gary Glitter, who is currently serving in prison over in England. Now, Weaponized Nerd Raids actually made a video about this like 2-3 days ago, where he goes into depth about Gary Glitter and his what his current situation is. So if you want a bit more clarity on that, you can go over and watch that video on his channel. But I'm mostly going to go into the fact that the media, this has been revealed to be a complete mess for the media. And the only outlet that I've seen publish a story on this so far, the only big outlet, is Screen Rant. I'm sure that there's probably going to be more of them come Monday because a lot of them have the weekends off and stuff. But basically, there were statements put out by both the United Kingdom and the United States regarding, or the two organizations from the United Kingdom, one from the United States, that state exactly that Gary Glitter does not get any form of money from this music being used in this film, and he does not own the rights to his own music. Or at least not to this specific song. Now, the two statements in question are from Snapper Music, which is the UK company that holds the legal rights to Glitter's master records, and that's his original records. Gary Glitter does not get paid. We've had no contact with him. So they own the rights, and he does not own the rights to that song at all, so he does not get any royalties or any payment from it, at least not from them. And the U.S. holder, which is Universal Media Publishing Group, put out a similar statement stating that Gary Glitter's publishing interest in the copyright of his songs is owned by UMPG and other parties, therefore UMPG does not pay him any royalties or other considerations. So, for the media that was pushing that if you're going to go see Joker, you're going to give money to a pedophile, that was a blatant lie that was put out to smear this film because you didn't like what the director said. And, you know, this also goes back to the whole violence stuff about incels are going to be out in theaters murdering people and all this other stuff. You know, the media, the film media has lost its mind at this point because now they realize that there are people within their own ranks or within the ranks of cinema that are getting tired of the sense oversensitivity and the representation angle and all this stuff about how actors can't play certain roles if they don't fit the role perfectly in real life. And again, this is just the most recent in a string of this because it would have been really easy to check up on this. If you found out about this, you could just contact the groups that you know he funnels his music through, or you could reach out and try and find these people. Again, the people that are writing these things are people that work in film media. You're telling me that you couldn't just make a couple of phone calls to some people at some copyright departments and find out who exactly owns the rights to this music and whether or not this guy gets paid, and contact these companies and ask them this. And then this would have been a non-story. But because they wanted to capitalize on everybody trying to get a piece of this movie, that is the reason why they went out and they purposely did not double check their own information, and they put this out to scare people and to get people to read their articles. Again, it's a popularity show. This is not about facts. This is not about common sense. This is about sensationalizing something that is ridiculous. Um, Now, again, can you make the case like, hey, if you knew Gary Glitter was a pedophile, you probably shouldn't have used the song anyway, even if you're not giving him money? Yeah, you could make that statement if you really want to, but again, I have a funny feeling if the media hadn't brought this up, nobody would have gone in and said, hey, didn't that song get sung by a pedophile? I don't think anybody would have brought that up if the media hadn't poked their nose into this and decided to dig up just the minimal amount of dirt so they could smear it all over this film. And of course, as as is tradition, whenever the media tends to try and crap all over a film, it makes buttloads of money. And Joker has passed the 500 million mark worldwide as of the end of this weekend. So it is not really that surprising that this movie is getting as much buzz as it is, not only from the negative press, which is just going to make people want to see it more, but also from really good word of mouth. Again, everybody I know that has seen this movie has recommended it, hands down, must-see type of film. And, I'm not going to say no to that because every single person I've talked to has been saying it. Whether it's people that are really snobby, that really kind of like the high end films versus people that like the popcorn movies, everybody seems to enjoy this film in some way, shape, or form. And nothing against you if you watched it and you didn't enjoy it, but word of mouth still carries a lot of weight, especially these days when people are losing faith in the modern film critic and realizing that the critics are really just in the pockets of all the studios, and they're going to give good reviews to films that the studios want good reviews for or need good reviews for. So that's not really overly surprising, but this just highlights another problem with the film media and the fact that they really don't they just put stuff out as sensationalization. They don't double check it. They take it out of context. And ultimately, I feel like a lot of it is untrustworthy. Or, if you see like a really big hot take, something like that, like the Gary Glitter thing, maybe just wait a couple of days and see if a correction or something comes out before you start losing your mind over it, because chances are these guys are not telling the full story up front. But that's just my thoughts, and that's something to kind of clarify a lot of what's been going on with Joker lately. And and again, it also won the box office this weekend over two new films that have been released. But I want to know what you think. Do you think that the media has been trying to sink this movie? And if you do, then why? Personally, I think it's because the director came out with that statement. And because he's been kind of fighting back against the woke culture type of crap. But again, I want to know what you think. Put it in the comments below. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?